So a very warm welcome to you on behalf of AI Policy Labs to our podcast series on a very pertinent topic today, AI and Sustainable Development Goals. I am Luigi Fiora, Research Associate at the Labs, and I am currently based in Turin. AI Policy Labs is a global initiative which has been set up with a vision to explore emerging technologies and assess the impact of intelligent automation, digitalization, and artificial intelligence on policymaking, implementation, and governance. Our primary focus is to explore the role of AI for public good and AI for social good. With a vision to build discussions on these important issues, we have launched a program on AI and SDGs, which will comprise of podcasts, webinars, research reports, expert opinions, and articles to be published on our global channel in partnership with the Graduate Institute in Geneva. To introduce our expert, today we have with us Professor Edson Prestes, member of the UNESCO ad hoc expert group for the recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence, advisor in the AI and Equality Initiative at the Carnegie Council for Ethics in International Affairs, a member of the UN Secretary General's high-level panel on digital cooperation. Thank you very much for being with us. And I have to say, it's an honor that you took the call. I'm very glad. So, in your view, is AI acting as an enabler or an inhibitor to the achievement of SDG number 4 on education specifically?
That's a quite interesting question because you can see the answer is both. So we can see AI as an enabler and also inhibitor, depending on how the AI is implemented in that particular domain. Because at the same time that the AI can create a lot of opportunities to promote the high quality education that can also accentuate inequality across the world. And currently you can see a lot of problems because of the COVID-19 today, like how we can implement the AI tools without to have the basic infrastructure like the internet. So at the same time that you can provide, AI can provide a lot of opportunity to particular community, we also can see that this opportunity can left behind a lot of other communities.
So, so you do believe that there is a competitive disadvantage for the communities that are either too remote or too poor to access the necessary hardware and equipment. So is AI providing the wealthier countries with another advantage, let's say?
That is also very interesting question because if you consider AI per se, we observe that for the communities, for the countries itself to take all the benefits of artificial intelligence are necessary to have a lot of precondition well solved. Like the AI is not a magic for all kind of problems, but you can target AI to create this magic. Like if you have any kind of competitiveness in a particular country, the country should be prepared for adopting AI. Like we discussed previously, it's necessary to have the basic infrastructure in terms of electricity, in terms of the internet. It also not only the infrastructure, but community should have access to high-end technology. Otherwise, the student will not have the computational power to develop their applications. It's necessary that the government also should be prepared in terms of the total understanding about the prerequisites of adopting AI and mitigate potential harms. So AI could be in that particular situation enable if you could implement all the ecosystem to adopt AI. But other countries have all this ecosystem, and they can use an AI to create a lot of opportunities. As we are discussing the SDGs, we can see clearly how to advance or how to attain these SDGs, creating personalized healthcare system, high quality education, precise farming to fight hunger, and so on.
So we mentioned unequal access due to economic disparities between countries, but what do you think of the fact that there are also inequalities in terms of people who are currently researching, working, and studying AI? Specifically, what do you think of the fact that less than 20% of your colleagues are women?
Yeah, that is a very interesting question also, because the opportunity should be divided or shared across our community. And what we observe that some not only a gender difference, but a racial difference we can see in the access to these opportunities. Like we do not have any stimulus for the women, girls, Black people, indigenous to take advantage of this domain, because most of because either these people are poor, are come from the vulnerable people, do not have a quality education, because to enter in this domain is necessary to have a strong knowledge on STEM costs, or because they not are properly stimulated to join this domain, because they say, okay, this kind of technical domain is not for you. That mainly happens for girls and women. So it's necessary to have adequate public policies to mitigate the situation, try to incentivize costs specifically for girls and women, Black people, indigenous community, try to also create this educational content in their native language, and also try to stimulate these people to acquire high-end technology. That, in my view, is a huge gap currently. We have a lot of taxations that prevent some people from the access to the high-end technology, and also access to the high-end research.
So would you say that it's more the case in AI, or is it just a wider representation of women in STEM fields? Like, is the thing about your field specifically, or is it a wider issue?
A wider issue, certainly, wider issue. I already observed mainly in my country, in Brazil, some kind of discriminatory behavior toward girls and women, and specifically girls and women, in the STEM course. If you check the engineer course, you see we do not see a lot of women and girls. But why that kind of situation happens? Because of the discrimination, most of the case. So it's necessary. That's the reason why it's necessary to have a particular public policies to address this kind of situation. In this sense, AI could be a tool to make the education more inclusive, because the AI-based tool for education break bias, the bias that could contaminate the teacher student relationship could be broken in that sense, because the system could teach, could guide the acquisition of knowledge in a particular domain without considering gender, considering race, and so on.
So in order to develop, research, and use artificial intelligence, you need massive amounts of data. And what do you think of the risk that the collection and use and possible abuse of these data might pose to the end user?
Yeah, we can have a lot of problems if you do not handle this data properly, because the data are the most important element of any human, because they contain our activities, they contain our information, they contain our behaviors. So it's extremely easy for us that work with in this domain to extract patterns, to understand the behaviors, and consequently to manipulate the user in particular direction. So it's necessary to safeguard the users, to elaborate proper data and data protection and privacy measurements, safeguarding the user from the external manipulation by third parties. mainly if you consider vulnerable communities like children. So children are much more vulnerable than adults from external manipulation. So we can have a situation like directed manipulation, not only to buy a product, but also to harm itself. Manipulation in terms of acquiring principles, acquiring rules that come from the other communities. Because when children interact with other adults, they learn social interaction. So if the children interact with the system, they will also absorb some kind of rules. So depending on the way that the system are deployed, are developed, the children could improperly acquire some social rules that are totally different from the rules observed in their own community. And also we have other problems associated to monitoring, surveillance, and also that could be impacted in other domain, other student lives. And like currently, people are make available any kind of information, any kind of behavior that they are developing, or that any kind of interaction that they are doing with other people today. But in the future, this kind of behavior, this kind of video that the people store could go against the owner, like causes some problems when this person is applied for particular jobs. So some groups are suggesting that we need to make an amendment in the Human Rights Declaration to add like a principle, like the right to forget, some, or to enable this person to have the power to forget data, to forget information, to forget the trace this person live in the internet.
Thank you very much, Professor.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, so then I'm gonna just cut the beginning and the end of the video, and it will probably be published tomorrow. I will be sending you the link, and we are interviewing several experts, all of whose interviews are on the page, and then we're going to use the interviews to write a final report, and you will be informed as when that happens, in case that you would like to know about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Goodbye. Have a nice